Hi, I decided to do my capstone project um, on birds and their beaks and how the different beak shapes collect various kinds of foods. I chose to do this to supplement our current mystery science unit that we're working on called the human machine. We just started the unit and we had just done a lesson called Owl Ambush that looked at the different parts of the owl and the parts they use to catch their prey, like their claws and their wings and their brains, and how all the parts work together to accomplish a task. So I decided to kind of branch off of that a little bit and go talk a little bit about birds and their beaks. So I found this lesson in the oercommons.org. I modified it to be perfect for grade 4. It was a grades 3 to 5 lesson to start with, and I just modified it to make it match what I needed for my classroom. I have 25 fourth graders in my classroom, 5 of which are learning support, 1 of which is an ESL. So I was all different kinds of needs, very wide range of ability levels. So I wanted to make it just perfect that everybody could participate and enjoy the lesson. So the overview of the lesson is to use common household tools to show how different beak shapes function to collect various kinds of food. Different birds have specialized beaks to eat different types of food. So for example, owls do not drink nectar from flowers and hummingbirds cannot crack open nuts because of the shape of their beak. So I took a picture of the materials that I passed out to the different tables. I have 5 tables in my room. And so I passed out all the different kinds of, each table got a different kind of spoon or a few different types of spoons. Each table got a clothespin. Some got like tweezers or some sort of a clip. I gave straws to represent kind of like a hummingbird type beak. But all of those different tools, the spoons and the clips and the tweezers and things, represented the bird beaks. And then I gave them different materials that the birds might eat, so they got a cup of water, which was to represent the nectar. They got a rotini noodle, which was to represent a worm. And then I just passed out some other things, some peanuts, some green peas, gummy bears, which were supposed to be the bugs, some crumpled up paper so that, birds might use for their nests, things like that, a piece of bread, an apple, and then they just had fun trying to see which kinds of beaks would pick up which kinds of foods. So we started with some guiding questions. Why do birds have specialized beaks? What tool worked best for each of the foods? If there was one kind of food that a tool would work best on, that would be considered a specialist, or a tool that wasn't best but worked for all the foods, that would be a generalist beak. So a bird that could eat many different foods. Maybe it didn't work the best, but they were able to eat all different kinds of foods. So another guiding question, why would a bird be a specialist versus a generalist? What kinds of birds do you know that eat limited types of food? And why do you think hummingbirds are not found in the mountains year round? Just some other resources that came along with this. There's this video, the Steam Bites Bird Beak video, that was attached to the OER lesson. I did start by showing this video to the kids. It showed them a whole bunch of different pictures of different birds and different beaks. And then it got them started with some of the materials and the guiding questions and things like that. There's also a book on Epic, which my kids do have access to. I assigned it to them through their Epic. I put it in their Epic mailbox. It's called What is a Bird? If they were interested, they could read the whole book, but there were just a few specific pages on bird beaks, which went along perfectly with this lesson. So the actual investigation day, we started by watching that quick little video with an introduction of the different birds, and then I passed out all those materials that I showed in my slide. And then I just really gave them pretty open directions. Work with your group and see what tools work best for which types of food, and then make the connection to the birds. And I'm going to show you my handout here in a little bit. But and then we even, if everybody in your group wanted to have a race picking up each kind of food. And then on the handout, there was a table that they could just take their notes in for the materials and for the tool that they used, which tools worked best for which materials. And then on the back, they were to draw a picture of a bird that might have a beak like one of the tools that they used. So I'll attach the handout to the discussion post. I have a couple pictures at the end of the slideshow here of the actual bird pictures that they drew. So from the table, the assessment from designing meaningful STEM lessons, for what the students should be able to do in this lesson, certainly they were asking questions and predicting solutions for the beaks and the kinds of foods that different birds would eat. The students carried out the investigation. They were actively engaged. They worked cooperatively in small groups to complete the investigation, and then they drew conclusions about different birds. It's definitely integrated all of the disciplines of STEM, so I attached that there. As far as my role in this, it definitely integrated real life application and subject matter. It incorporated design and engineering design processes. It asked guiding questions to facilitate their discussions and actively keep them engaged. And during the lesson, I was moving around the room guiding the cooperative learning groups. So I just have at the end here some photos from my classroom lesson of some of the kids using their different tools. On the left is she's using a bigger ladle to pick up an apple. And then as you come across, you can just see some of the clips and the clothespins that they're using, to represent the beaks and the different kinds of foods. You can also see in the slides the pictures of the handouts the kids were using. And then lastly, I have some of the student drawings of their birds. The one on the left there is she used a ladle, so she wanted to draw a bird that would have a beak more like the ladle that we used. And the one on the right, this was a spoon that you would get, like with like a Chinese food soup that I had in my drawer at home that I took in. So it was a spoon, but a different kind of, you can see the shape of the spoon. So that's the bird that he represented in his drawing there. Thank you.